I cannot believe that we're already in the back half of 2024.
Are you kidding me?
But here we are. Before you know it, the calendar will be turning again, and that means we are already getting ready for 2025 conferences, and one that I'm personally very excited to attend again is the Insights EDU conference. If you care at all about growing enrollment and building a student-centered higher ed experience, you really should be at this conference. Registration is now open, so secure your spot while early bird pricing is still available. Visit insightsedu.com for more information and to register. That's visit insightsedu.com for more information and to register.
Hey everybody, this is Elvin Freitas, co-founder of the EdUp Experience, and today we are extremely excited to announce our paid subscription service. By subscribing today, you will get exclusive early access to ad-free episodes, extended episodes, bonus episodes, original content. That's right, original content, and invites to special events, all while helping to sustain EdUp. To become a subscriber, go to edupexperience.com. That's EDUP experience.com and subscribe to our free email newsletter to learn how you can get access. Again, go to edupexperience.com. That's EDUP experience.com.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business. This is Dr. Joe Salustio back with you on another episode. As you know, if you have been listening and watching the EdUp Experience, we have just passed our 900th episode of this podcast in just a little over 4 years. If you can believe it, I certainly can't. In my sleep, I say, welcome back, everybody. It's the EdUp Experience podcast in my sleep. But there's so many amazing people that we still have to interview. So 900, although it seems like a lot, it is just a very, very slim number compared to the number of innovators, people out there that are serving students across all verticals in education. And we've got another great guest with us today. I'm going to bring him in right now because we want to get to it. We had some technology difficulty at the beginning of this podcast, but we've sailed right through that. And we're going to get him in. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. He's David Bradford. He is the founder of Big Head Bob, LLC. What's going on? Did you know you're going to have walk-up music?
I am so happy to be here. I feel like I'm coming out the UFC ready to battle.
Well, you're fighting a battle, aren't you?
Every day is a battle.
Yeah, tell us about Big Head Bob. What you do, how you do it, who do you serve?
Yes, sir. So Big Head Bob is a character I used to draw when I was a little kid, and 3 months into the pandemic, my brother had a baby, and I was motivated and inspired to do something with my time and in honor of my nephew. And I kept seeing old photos, videos of Bob, I used to call him at the time. And my family's very artistic. We did a quick arts and crafts project that turned into 9 months. And bam, it became a book. I thought I would sell 150 copies in my lifetime. And 3 days into publishing, I had that sold and surpassed. And so I thought that it was a really amazing opportunity to just continue down this new path of where are we going? What are we doing with our time? And you know, the kind of, in a nutshell, Bob's Big Head Bob, is a metaphor for our differences. We all have our physical or mental differences, things that we can look at as you know, almost issues. You know, this is my weakness. And how do you identify your big head? How do you transform that into something positive? So that's the essence of what I'm doing, is taking this project and moving it into art, moving into music, moving into college internships, and allowing everybody who's anybody to be involved and try to turn a negative into positive. It's been an amazing experience so far.
Amazing.
You said amazing. Was Big Head Bob a manifestation of yourself? Did it start with you, you know, as an outlet for something?
Yeah, I think my mom is an amazingly talented artist. Her father was a paint, you know, he worked in advertising and was a designer, you know, but old school painting. And for me, I'm not as talented as they are in terms of freehand. And I thought that I would draw stick figures, and then I kind of advanced just a little bit past that, but never fully. And so I caught
That makes two of
myself.
us. Makes two of us, promise you.
Yeah, and I caught myself making a bigger and bigger head, and as big as the paper was, that's how big Bob's head was. And then I'd make a small body, two googly eyes on the far sides of the top circle, and one little hair. And I said, that's Bob. And there was something in my heart and something in my brain that just clicked. And I said, this is Bob. And it became a reality during the pandemic. And now there's stickers and squish dolls and all the and 3 books in 7 different languages, journals, activity books, a blog series about mental health and education. And that was kind of one of the first things. As a teacher found it after I announced that I'm publishing this book, someone that I went to high school 20 years ago, and plus now. But she said, hey, this is the perfect social emotional learning tool. Can you come visit my class? And I had to Google it. And I said, oh, yeah, this is social emotional learning. We all have our differences. How do you communicate it and turn it into something positive? Big Head Bob has no ethnicity. He has no religion. So people are able to really focus on the story of how do we really think about what our big head is. Mine is anxiety. Before this call, I'm sure you couldn't tell via email. I'm so nervous. I hope the computer works. I hope the mic works. And guess what? We had an issue, but that lasted a few minutes and we sorted it out. So, I always tell myself, do I need to be that nervous or anxious before? But that's my big head difference about me. I'm always trying to work on it and breathe through it.
Well, you did a great job. I will tell you that this idea of social emotional learning transcends age. It is something that teachers are using in classrooms. It's faculty are using it for our people in higher education. We all have a big head issue, right? In higher ed, as we students are, the coming of age student, 18 years old, going off to college, or the adult student going back to college, a lot of times they're a big head is anxiety, or it's being passed up by technology and having to go back in. The idea of Big Head Bob is turning your difference into strength.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about why that is so central to the character? How that manifests? How does that story wrap around this? And how is that executed in terms of reality? How do you turn that difference into some strength?
Totally. It's a fantastic question. I'm happy we're having the conversation. Children's literature, it has the power to spark conversation and really foster empathy, help young readers understand how to navigate their emotions. But as I've been down this new journey of my life, it's not just that for children. Every adult, yourself and myself included, has their inner child. When I was always good at my job, when I was an executive director of operations at the Bellagio and Aria MGM. I was at Wynn Resorts for 8 years, and I had a lot of closed door meetings, and someone would say, oh, no, this is going on. And I'd, what's really going on? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. There's always things that we're just not aware of that oftentimes tie back to previous experience, and then even farther back, you want to really dive into psychology, is something that happened when we were a kid. I was selected last I wasn't, but I'm just giving an example. I was selected last. I was always passed over in sports. I wasn't the best basketball player, so people would always pick me last and make fun of me when I would take a shot. And that 30 years later, you still remember. And I can actually tie it into a better story is with my mother. Is she, as I was creating the second book, my mom said, what do you think about Long Neck Lisa? Just out of nowhere. And I said, what? Yeah, does Bob have any friends? It's like, yeah. Haha, that's a funny name. Okay. She actually ended up drawing it, and I thought it was the most beautiful thing. Her neck was as long as Bob's head is big. So we started developing the second book. And then I asked her months later, how did you even come up with Long Neck Lisa? She said, oh, when, she has scoliosis. She's had surgery when she was a kid. And her formative years. I think it was around 8th grade, freshman year of high school. In the 60s, she had to wear a back brace, and the kids would call her Miss Longneck. So 50 years later, she remembered Miss Longneck and how it felt to be made fun of her long neck, at how it looked because she had a back brace. And that was kind of the epitome of Big Head Bob, is transforming your weakness. Like I said, haha, the joke's on all those kids that made fun of you. You just made this into a everlasting children's book character, and it's Bob's best friend. So I think it's really amazing for people to turn their differences into art, and that art form can take so many different variations, which is what I keep finding about this project. It's really cool. I was going to say amazing again, but it was amazing.
Amazing.
It's funny that you say that, because we all have some kind of event that helps define us as adults, and as students, or as just working adults. You made me think of something, and maybe I'll give you your next character if you don't mind my 2-minute story.
Please.
I played soccer for a long time, competitive soccer, and I'm 6'3", but at some point in my growth, my feet grew first. And so it made me extra slow. So at one point, my soccer coach made everybody, we did a race, 2 people at a time, a single elimination. And I was down to me and one other guy as the slowest on the team. And here we are, the last 2 running the race, and I lose and become Too Slow Joe for years.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it made me feel like I have to do everything a little bit faster. And later in life, finish this faster, add this onto my plate. It actually affected me for many, many years, not to get into the psychology of things.
Yeah.
But I think that's the idea of Big Head Bob, is we all carry something with us. And so how do we turn it into something positive, right?
Yeah, and there's a crucial step prior to that, is identifying and communicating with it. And I would assume you haven't told that story in a long time, or even thought about it.
Yeah, probably one other time ever.
Yeah, and that's the most amazing. Sorry, that's the most spectacular thing about the project, is that you and I had just met, and we're already talking about things that make us anxious or uncomfortable, and just I feel by communicating it, we're able to own it. And it's a beautiful thing what you just told me, and I do appreciate it. I think that's the relatability of what we're doing is infinite, and there's so many ways to tie in. Oh, you get hangry, you get hungry and angry, and you become kind of mean. Well, we don't want to be mean just because we're hungry. Yeah. So I made a cartoon about that, where Big Head Bob climbs the stratosphere in Las Vegas, and I play that in every single virtual class, every single in-person event, and people think it's hilarious, and it is.
Well, I'll tell you, it's you grow, you eventually grow into yourself, and this growth idea stays with us for many years as we become lifelong learners, right? And so a kind of an underpinning here is, how do you take something that affects you, carry it with you, and then stay a lifelong learner? What happens with Big Head Bob now for you? What does he do? Does he now go through new stories, new books, is this going to become a franchise, licensed out product where you're going to be all over worldwide? I mean, tell us about the lifelong learning aspect of Big Head Bob.
Yes, I'm going to take you through the first page or 2 and then go all the way very quickly, of course. So in the first page of the first book, you open, Big Head Bob is crying in his bed, sobbing to his mother about his big bob head. People treat me like an unwanted toy. I wish I could just be a normal boy. And this is a real memory from me and my mom. I used to miss gym class because I had to do some extra one-on-one tutoring for my English comprehension. And I say funny because I'm an author now. And that was elementary school, and I was embarrassed and shy. And, as I was creating the story, I thought of all these funny scenarios. Bob is playing soccer, but he's no good. And then he, scuba dives, but he sinks to the bottom. And he goes to a movie theater, but he's blocking everyone's view with his big, fuzzy, transparent head. And I kind of figured out the arc of all of these funny scenarios of having a giant head are actually kind of sad. And he wants to be normal, just like everyone else. And then, through the climax of the book, the middle portion, Bob is decides to meditate and take a deep breath. And through that, taking 3 deep breaths, he becomes a lot more calm and understanding, oh, I have a big head. Why did I sit in the front? I didn't think about other people's perspective, their point of view. So he sits in the back and he says, I have this big old head. Maybe I'll stand next to the net and I'll get a header. So that's the concept, right? Through that, a musician would come to me and say, I love your music. I'm sorry, I love Big Head Bob. It's so cute. I got the book. I say, I love your voice. Could we maybe do a song together? And then we have this beautiful Disney-esque song, right? We've produced 4 Big Head Bob songs. They're on Spotify now. I animated them and they're these cartoons. So I didn't really know what I was doing. I've never published a book before. And the journey has taken me in this really beautiful circle of, okay, we have books. There's 3 books, The Adventures of Big Head Bob, Transform Your Weakness into Strength, Deep Dive into Friendship. That's the second one with Long Neck Lisa, and then the Bob Squad. So I thought that if I'm able to continue producing content for every different avenue, kindergarten through 5th grade, and then I realized that, well, young adults actually really like the merchandise, the sweatshirts and the plush dolls. And then I started really connecting the dots. Oh, there's music, there's books, there's stickers, there's live events, there's all of these different opportunities that people can be involved in their own section. And I did do the licensing expo here in Las Vegas, and that drummed up some unbelievable partnership opportunities with NASA, with separately the US Space Force and the Air Force, publishing houses like Penguin Random House and Insight Editions, who also does film. So there's a lot of opportunity, but from the beginning, I took an 8.5 and 11 piece of paper and folded it in half a bunch and stapled it and started drawing the book. 2 of my biggest influences, friends, mentors that work in television, they said, this is great. This is needed in the world. I see it being big in Asia. You have to do it in Spanish. You have to get all of the social media handles. And, is this going to be television or film? And I'm looking at this text message from someone who helped produce Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 at Wynn Resorts. I'm like, which made, hundreds of millions of dollars. I thought, if you think this is a good idea, Big Head Bob, and you crushed it with Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, I think I could do pretty well. So I've had from the start television, clothing in stores, live events, summer camp experiences. But of course, I have to be realistic and optimistic at the same time. One step at a time, one day at a time. And I'm now in year 4 of my business, and this is full time. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to do things like this and get the message out to people who've never heard of Big Head Bob, because I see people pass by if I'm doing an event at the LA Times, book festival, or even just we did the Children's Discovery Museum event a couple weeks ago here in Vegas. And even if someone doesn't know it or have seen it before, they say, haha, Big Head Bob, what is that? That's cute. And then I give them free stickers and free bookmarks. So we are definitely making our way around the world. And there's on our Instagram, just Big Head Bob, you'll see stickers in all over the world. It's really cool. So yeah, that's the plan.
Outstanding.
Calling all higher ed marketing and enrollment management professionals. Hear, hear. The Insights EDU conference is back. This is your chance to level up your marketing and enrollment management strategies, and the EdUp Experience podcast will be there once again. Join us at the Ritz-Carlton, New Orleans, February 12th through 14th for an unforgettable conference. Registration is now open with early bird pricing.
Outstanding.
Hey everybody, this is Elvin Freitas, co-founder of the EdUp Experience. Are you enjoying the conversation so far? Good, I hope so. Did you know that you can actually hear this conversation early before anybody else and ad free, so you don't have to hear my voice during these ads? And did you also know that you could get extended episodes, bonus episodes, original content? That's right, original content and invites to special events, all while helping to sustain EdUp? Well, if you didn't know, now you know. So go to edupexperience.com. That's EDUP experience.com and become a subscriber today. First, you got to sign up to our free email newsletter, and then you'll find out how to become a subscriber. Again, go to edupexperience.com.
You know, what is NASA interested in when it comes to something like Big Head Bob? How does that partnership manifest itself? Is it by the way, I think I've said manifest like 3 times. It's my word of the day, apparently.
I like it.
Here, but how does that happen? Is NASA wanting to expose kids to more, science, and so they want Big Head Bob to get all mixed up in to become an astronaut or something?
Yes, so I'm learning quickly the world of licensing and how it works. And there was you can almost call them a middleman, a company called Artist Story. And they had reached out to me and said, "We love your concept. We'd like to meet with you and see if there's any opportunities. This is right in the wheelhouse for some of the people we work with." And I looked at their website, and it's like Van Gogh and Salvador Dali and the British
Nice.
Museum and Library. And I was like, what do you, did you mean to send this to me? I didn't say, I just responded like, "Hey, I would love the opportunity to meet with you. I haven't done any museum events. I have one coming up at the Children's Discovery Museum, but sure." So we met, and they said, "Yes, it's a very flexible character. We love that you're established," which was a huge honor because it's kind of verification. Like, "Oh, all right, I'm established. Yeah, sure."
Yep.
So
Hey, you
they
are.
yes, absolutely. And they had tried to partner me with someone that has a similar vision of creating some sort of exciting merchandise or content, and that we could kind of both agree is amazing, whether that be in a t-shirt or a poster or a coffee mug or anything. And then once I put together a 20 plus page plan of what I plan on doing with it, how I could sell it, where it would go. And the incentive, I think, from NASA is to gain access to, the 25,000 students that I've already reached. I haven't said that yet. I've visited over 1,000 school classrooms virtually and in person. Sometimes it's one class, some epic. Sometimes it's one classroom. Sometimes it's, my biggest was 6,000 students I met at the Ottawa Catholic School Board in 2 hours. So anyway, the network, and also I believe revenue is a big part, is if I am able to use their intellectual property and say, "I'm doing a collaboration with NASA, can I get it approved and then sell it in stores, and people will know the NASA name more?" And
Yep.
so I think there's a lot of benefits to both. But then for me, one of the most exciting things is, from a kid, NASA is the coolest thing in the world. I want to be an astronaut. And I think that if I'm able to do it, then I can go to another, company or artist or musician and say, "I love your music. I love your art. Would you be I just did a NASA collab. Do you want to be next?" I think most people would say, "Well, I need to at least look at this," versus
Right.
the mostly knows that I've been getting my new career. It's been fascinating.
Well, you get a lot of no's when you start something, and it takes a couple of yeses to push you down, push you in the right direction.
Hmm.
One of the things I found most fascinating when I was looking at your website and I was thinking about Big Head Bob is you look at kids today and the path that they take to becoming an adult. There is so much social media disruption that parents are ill prepared to deal with. In fact, you can go to Instagram on any given day if you're a parent or thinking about being a parent, and there's going to be some video about when you should give your kids access to social media, how to keep your kids away from social media. The idea that you can turn something that gives you anxiety or this perceived weakness into a strength in a world that exploits weakness.
Yep.
Through social media, a character like Big Head Bob, it's building confidence, or it's helping with preparation. Can you talk about that a little bit, and what, I don't know, how to navigate this world that we live in?
Totally. I was a former Las Vegas hospitality executive, like I mentioned, and I always have had a passion for the arts. And when Joaquin was born, my brother's son, my nephew, I had this inspiration to do something positive. But what I didn't say is that I knew he would be reading books. I knew he would be watching television and being on the computer. And I wanted to just give him and his new brother positive Emmy. I wanted to give them positive content. And so that's kind of the focal point of what I didn't know what I was doing, but that was my intention from the start. They're going to be watching this. Let me give them some good stuff to start with. So what is that? It's diversity. It's, how to navigate difficult decision or difficult situations in a positive manner. I'm from the generation of people saying, "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "Are you sure? You look mad." "I'm fine." That was me as a kid.
Or get over it.
Get over it. Yeah, internalize it and then implode, or explode. But the book series for Big Head Bob, it celebrates diversity. It celebrates mental health, and I'm trying to sprinkle that glitz and glamour of Las Vegas into mental health, and these social emotional learning tools, because I don't think it really exists in a way of how we're doing it. And I want children's literature and what they're going to be watching to spark conversation and foster empathy and help them. I think that what you said struck a chord, because like I mentioned, I've been in 1,000 school classrooms, US, Canada, Australia. One time I've written a letter to a principal because the students, I believe in 6th grade, they were able to use their phone in classes. And
Yikes!
yeah, exactly. And I asked, I don't care. I have no skin in the game. I won't get in trouble, but I can speak to kids in a way that teachers may not feel comfortable with. And I will say, "Do you think it's cool to like have your phone in class?" "Yeah, it's cool. Like the teachers respect us and know that we won't." I said, "Do you think it's easy for me to talk to you while you have that?" "Yeah, because we have self-control." And I said, "Well, I've been watching, a couple of you and seeing that you're just not looking at me, which I don't take offense. I don't mind, but you have to understand, you have an unlimited box in your hand. It's not possible for me to compete. You're not going to pay attention to me. You can look at or do anything. So I'd really appreciate it if you guys stopped looking at your phone." Some of them did, some of them didn't. Afterwards, I said I've been in a couple hundred classes at this time, and I think that this was the least functioning and focused class I've been in, because please do not allow these students to use their phone in classroom. So that self-control is developed over years, and you just can't compete with the infinite dings and boops and bleeps and music, and it's an amazing opportunity, but also it's unlimited difficulty dealing with that
Noise.
world. Noise.
Noise, infinite noise, right? And we experience it as adults too. This is a good lesson for us.
Yeah.
As we deal with kids or even ourselves. You think about somebody coming to a meeting and they put their phone, even if they bring their phone and they set it on top of their notebook, it just takes attention away from the room when it's sitting out, because when it does ding or flash or something, everybody notices it. It's actually pretty amazing what we deal with on a daily basis.
That was a badge of honor at my old work at the Wynn Resorts, where you have 1 or 2 phones going off while you're during your meetings. "Oh yeah, oh, one sec. Oh, okay." It was so annoying. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
And now I think, when I talk about creating positive content, I have square breathing exercises. I have 1-minute meditations on Big Head Bob's YouTube. I have songs that discuss, I want to have an open dialogue, versus just like, "Oh, this guy's on their phone," or, "Oh, hey, I just want to let you know it would be a lot more helpful if you're able to just put your phone on silent while we're having this meeting," versus both people being affected, because some people aren't good at speaking their mind. But what I want you to realize is encourage you to share your feelings in a productive way, because it's totally possible. And if you have it in a supportive environment like what we're trying to create, it's a lot easier and a lot more digestible. I say the hangry, that's kind of one of the starter. "Oh, I'm hangry, I'm hungry and angry, I want to eat now." You don't have to say it that way. You can take a deep breath and then communicate, "Hey, I'm hungry, can we eat soon?" And the students they get it. And so sometimes the next time they're in that situation, they think about it. So it's pretty cool.
I love it. I love the message. I love the character. I'm really in awe of what you've created. It's pretty special. And tell us a little bit about what the future holds for Big Head Bob. What do you see for the company as you continue to permeate society in a good way.
100%. Well, the backbone of that is internships with college students that I'm sure we'll get to in a minute. And working with these students help me pave the future. I've had over 40 plus successful, completed college internships, 3, 6 months. Sometimes they've gone over 12 months. But the future of Big Head Bob, you'll see it on television. You'll see it on a streaming service. People are just now coming to me and saying, "Hey, I was on YouTube on my phone and I saw a Big Head Bob video pop up," or I was using a GIF, well, a little Jiffy GIF, and a Big Head Bob popped up. And so he's kind of like he's permeating through the fabric of the world and kind of getting entrenched in all these different activities. And I've heard a song on Sirius XM on the radio, and I've reached out to the artist, and we made a song together. We made and I play it in schools, and then I send it to them. There's so many opportunities to work with different businesses. I've had a healthcare company say, "Would you be interested in Big Head Bob being the chat bot for our mental health guy?" Yeah,
like an AI chat bot?
There's a lot that could go wrong, but these ideas I could never have even thought about doing a collab, and it's not guaranteed. And if it gets rejected, which it has at other places so many times, is I say my response is, well, at least they know who it is now. And the next time their child says Big Head Bob, or their friend, or they see it, oh, didn't I? Let's look at that again. So I feel that we're going to have a publisher. That's an important piece of the puzzle. I think I would love to look at this, and I've been told, and I want to be like a Mr. Beast meets Mr. Rogers. I want that entertainment aspect, but that kind, down to earth, Mr. Rogers, he's your neighbor, you love him. I want to kind of sew those two together and be Mr. David Bradley.
Like it, Mr. David Bradley, creating a character that resonating with kids all over the world and beyond children, lessons to take away as adults. So we know how many students and adult students that we have. And when I say students, I mean your traditional student, your adult student, experiencing mental health challenges. We can't seem to offer enough support for those mental health challenges in higher education. The best way to tackle those is start as a kid and figure out how to navigate those things. COVID created another level, another layer that we've all had to work through. But it is something that is an epidemic in our society, mental health. And these are the types of things that help solve those challenges. It's the ingenuity and the brilliance of people like yourself, David, that bring these things to the table. So we thank you for bringing us at the EdUp Experience a little bit about Big Head Bob, and appreciate it. Any last words or final words you want to say to the audience?
Thank you, Dr. Joe. Thank you for congratulations for 900 plus. 1,000 is an insane number.
Just a tip away.
Right around the corner. I think that, allowing me to use this platform to speak with people I've never met before, and go to bigheadbob.com, buy the books, and if you can't afford it, I have it downloadable at Teachers Pay Teachers for free. I have 170 YouTube videos. You could watch the book be read in English, Spanish, Japanese, German. I want people to be exposed to this because it's from the heart. It means well, and you're gonna run into it sooner rather than later. And I hope it helps you. It helps me, and we're on a really incredible path. And I want to, have this vision for the future and a social impact that people just haven't seen before. Or they haven't been willing to go down that road. And I am, and I'm so happy. I'm so excited. So thank you.
Well, the great thing about our audience is that it is college administrators, faculty, staff, college presidents, K-12 teachers. We've got a really, really strong educator audience that is interested in information and content that educates. And that's exactly what you brought us. Yep. We're also parents, which make us really interested in content like this beyond what we do as educators in our industry. And so we all have, many of us have children, and we have neighbors. And so we'll spread the message for you. And we value the ingenuity and the message that you bring to the table here. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is. He's David Bradley. He is the founder, co-owner. No, he's not a co-owner. He's the founder
Producer.
and owner of
Yep.
Big Head Bob LLC. David, thanks for coming to the mic.
Thank you, Dr. Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've just EdUp'd. Higher education is evolving. And if you're in marketing and enrollment management, then you need to be at the Insights EDU conference.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Insights EDU 2025 is happening February 12 through 14 in New Orleans, Louisiana. This is your chance to explore the latest trends in higher education and discover new and innovative strategies to level up your program marketing and enrollment. Hear from some of the best speakers in the industry, from companies like Google, LinkedIn, Adobe, and more. Registration is now open, so secure your spot while early bird pricing is still available.
Hey everybody, this is Elvin Freitas, co-founder of the EdUp Experience. Did you enjoy that conversation? I hope you did. Did you know that you can actually hear this conversation early on and ad-free? And you can also hear extended episodes, bonus episodes, original content. That's right, original content and invites to special events, all while helping to sustain EdUp. Did you know that? Well, if you didn't know, now you know. To become a subscriber, go to edupexperience.com. That's EDUP experience.com to subscribe to our free email newsletter to learn how you can get access. Again, that's edupexperience.com. That's EDUP experience.com.